Hi guys, so today we are going to be talking about gamification and how we can use these different tools in the classroom and why it's important for us. So just let me start my slideshow. Alright, so gamification. First of all, we got to talk about what it is. Gamification is a tool that we can use in the classroom in order to really kind of articulate the learning environment and make students really more interested in it. And it just allows for just a lot more fun to be had and allows students to express their creativity and yeah, just kind of really dive into the learning topic through challenges and games. So these can range from video games like online, such as things like Kahoot, and also there are many other programs that teachers can use to create different tools and games that allow for the challenges set to their specific type of learning setting. And this can also go to board games, and I remember even in my school, gamification was implemented through things like bingo, and we also had, just word games that we would go to the whiteboard and play with our classmates in. So here's a couple of visuals just so you can kind of understand what it is. So these are two different ones that I think really describe what gamification is. So the first one, we have our user engagement. So that's just kind of like where they're at in terms of the learning of the topic. And then a reward and achievement, motivation, learning, and challenge. So yeah, they're basically playing for an award, and then they have to learn the topic, and there's that motivation, which is that reward, and then they have to learn the topic, like I said, through the achievement and just learning those basic skill sets. And so the challenge is the games. But even though we call it games, they still are implemented in the classroom, so it is still a learning game. They're not just here to have fun all the time, which I wish we could, but alright, so I actually like this visual a little bit more because at the beginning of the class we set forth a goal. We have a goal that we need to achieve, and so then we learn a little bit about the topic just so they're not going to the game unprepared. We develop that skill so they can really achieve their full potential in the game. That achievement, which kind of ties in with the skill. Sorry, my mouse is being slow. Then we have the challenge, which is the game that allows for those kind of learnings. And then that reward. So the reward could be anything like pencil erasers, or it could be that they can opt out of a quiz, just kind of whatever you as a teacher see fit to do this for. I'm not sure how the competition fits in there, just kind of like maybe a post-game competition to see who like really wins, I guess you could say that. So, and then user engagement. So this is kind of the assessment of your game and how it affected the learning environment in the classroom. And you can kind of assess that on your own through quizzes such as Kahoot or just a standard quiz. So how it works, like I mentioned, we have the learning goal. We develop new skills. You practice those skills. Then we have the gameplay. There's a reward, and then the achievement that you have learned this new skill or learned the new topic for a classroom. For example, if it's mathematics, we're developing that new mathematical skill. However, if it is history, such as like a memorization game like Jeopardy, you're learning about the topic as opposed to a new skill. However, there are some pros and cons with gamification. One of the pros we have is that it increases student engagement, creates enthusiasm in the classroom, provides instant feedback, because you can obviously tell whether students are enjoying the game or not. In the standard classroom setting, it's kind of hard to judge if students are enjoying their time learning or not. And then it also makes social connections, so we can divide the classroom into teams and allows them to really kind of dive into those different social connections with their classmates. However, there are cons. It has been proven that this decreases student attention span. So if we implement games, they kind of want things to happen very, very quickly as opposed to a standard learning environment where they know can take a little bit longer. There is a cost sometimes associated with this. For example, if you're going to buy an online gaming program, that does cost some money, and that might be out of the teacher's pocket because the school board might not want to pay for these technologies where they see that you could use games in different ways. And then you have to have a student assessment, and this is kind of challenging sometimes because you might not have time at the end of the class or things like that. And then the game logistics, so these include just kind of setting it up, thinking of ideas, getting it ready, make sure you're having the supplies, and like I said, those kind of are associated with cost, and those might not be, or those might be too costly. And then we also have the UDL, or Universal Design for Learning, through gamification. So I believe this really shows the UDL principle because it allows for collaboration between students, allows for more students to be engaged, allows for representation through different games. And when I say that, I mean that students can basically have strengths in different games we play. So you wouldn't have to stick to one game. We can just continue moving on, learning the same topic, just so everyone can feel included. It allows for action and expression. As you notice, students can get very competitive, and so that just kind of allows for them to be who they are. And here's just another visual of the UDL process. So we have engagement, representation, action, and expression. And so these are all the different types of concepts that are centered around our UDL process. And that's it. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you guys implement gamification in your classroom.